Peggy 12.
The genesis of the story that we finally ended up with, we were all sitting around and we had been given the mandate to take this move controller and make a magic wand game out of it. We wanted opening that move box to be that moment of discovery, like, what is this? This is something I've never seen before.
It feels powerful.
And it really formed the foundation of the story. It was going to be about learning how to do all this new stuff you'd never done before. And we wanted the story of the game to be the same way, a journey of discovery, a hero's journey. We were after an archetypal story that would be a coming-of-age story and a story where a young apprentice makes a simple mistake, unleashes the terrible forces of the world, and has to grow into become himself a great sorcerer when his master is unable to save him from his folly.
Here we are, the entrance to Lock Barrow. Beyond this door is the domain of the restless dead, the forsaken spirits of the final war.
The final war?
Between the elves and the humans.
The world of sorcery, it's a world where the realm of fairy and the human realm are very closely intertwined, and there are portals that let you pass back and forth between the two worlds. There was a war between the humans and the fairies about 100 years before the game takes place. And since then, the realms have pretty much kept to themselves. There are very few people have crossed back and forth between them. But as the game starts, the portals are thrown open again, and all of a sudden you're thrust back into this world where the creatures from the realm of fairy are crossing over.
Great sorcerers defended the world from unspeakable evil. And everyone bowed down to them and gave them treasure and stuff.
And stuff? Really?
Just prepare to be amazed.
You have no idea what you're doing.
A lot of the emphasis in the story in Sorcery is more about the relationship between the characters. For most of the game, there is Finn, our protagonist, and Erline, the magical cat who accompanies them. When the game starts off, Finn and Erline don't really get along very well. She's kind of obnoxious, he's kind of like full of himself.
I shouldn't have said anything. Lock Barrow is far too dangerous. You might get hurt, and then I would never forgive myself.
Right then, Lock Barrow.
Well, this should be entertaining.
If you think of your mage that stands in the back and uses his wand and knowledge just to control the world, that isn't Finn. Finn drives forward. He thirsts for knowledge, but he thirsts for adventure more than anything.
There are a couple of things we do to sort of play with the fantasy archetypes. One thing is to sort of dig deeper into the reality of beneath the archetype. We have an evil queen, the Nightmare Queen, and we actually worked really hard to create sort of a psychological depth to her.
You can feel a little bit of sympathy for the best of best villains. In the Nightmare Queen, her daughter has been stolen, and that's a believable anger, right? You can look at the Nightmare Queen and go, yeah, I'd be pissed. That believability makes her all that more terrifying because you can understand and maybe you could see yourself be that villain.
Busted!
Erline was a character that was really important to our story. We face a lot of challenges with Erline because we have to have this integral character of our game be a cat. Just like with Finn, Erline goes through ups and downs throughout the story, and we had to be able to create this furball to be able to display emotion along with our character because she is such an important part.
We needed a character that needed Finn. The darkness of her character, that slight tone of being unsure really helps us tie her to Finn because he's so brave and bold. She needs his support to go through the next door.
A big part of the story of Sorcery is the way these two characters respond to what's going on around them and sort of change over the course of the game. By the end of the game, they're really, really on the same team, they're working together, and the story of how they come together and how they learn about each other is a big part of the story of Sorcery.
It was a coming-of-age story both for Finn and for Erline at the same time. Both of you go from being these silly teenage kids at the beginning to realizing the mantle that destiny has forced upon you.